if you're a Christian or just someone who, picks up their Bible occasionally, you've probably read this verse or heard this verse somewhere. It comes out of Matthew chapter 7, verse 21. It says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven." And if you're like me, that verse sometimes scares you. That verse sometimes puts fear in you, like, what is the will of the Father? Am I doing the will of the Father? How do I know? I used to be so fearful of that verse. I used to be so fearful and scared and just think, oh my God, am I following the will of the Father? What is the will of the Father? What do I need to do in order to not hear those words? Because those words are the most terrifying thing that I will ever hear in my life. And if I do not want to hear those words. And I was fearful until I read this verse. It comes out of John chapter 6, verse 40. "For this is the will of my Father, that everyone who looks on the Son and believes in him should have eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day." Now, what does that look like? What does that mean? Having faith in the Son is following the Father's will. Having faith and believing that the Son was sent here for a reason, to save us and to free us from that sin, that is doing the will of the Father. And something else I read today that just it struck me and resonated deep within me is this, out of John chapter 6. And it comes after Jesus walks on the water and he's speaking to the crowd, and this is what they say to him in chapter 6, verse 28. "Then they said to him, 'What must we do to be doing the works of God?' Verse 29 says, "Jesus answered them, 'This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent.'" That goes hand in hand with verse 40, that the works of God are believing in the Son, and the will of the Father is believing in the Son. So doing the works of God is having faith and staying true and believing in the Son, and the will of the Father is having that same faith, believing in the Son. So if you believe in the Son and do the works of God by believing in him, you are doing the will of the Father. And I believe in my heart that if you do those works and believe in the Son, you will not hear those words. I know no one wants to hear those words. And just believe in the Son. Believe in the Son, that he was sent here for us to save us from eternal damnation and to give us a relationship with God, and you will not hear those words. I believe it.